Okay, I'm back. Let's hope that now it will be a better connection and also like not too many noise because I'm in a garden, but there is a road. Okay. I also realize I didn't stop the, okay, it's better, perfect. So what we are going to do is we are going to jump right away. And for new or old participant, maybe what we can do, if you have a question, you can ask in the chat so everybody can answer, or you can unmute yourself at any time, and you can just talk and if you don't understand something or something like this. So the class is always, we always start with a small meditation just to come sitting into the place, especially today after those technical issues. So we are going to sit in a comfortable position. And also what we are going to do is like, oh, I see that somebody is arriving. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. We were
I'm sorry.
about. It's okay because we had some technical issues.
Okay.
My fault. So what we are going to do is like we are going to start with a small meditation, and as I was saying before, during the whole class, it will be like in any moment, maybe not during the small anchoring meditation, but during the whole class, everybody can unmute themselves and ask a question, or there is no like, everybody can participate and talk and ask question, ask me to repeat if my weird English is not very clear. But for now, let's come to a sit, like comfortable sit. And we are going to just align our head over the heart and the heart over the pelvis. So we are like in a straight line. And we are going to relax the shoulder, and maybe you can let your hands fall wherever, like on your thighs or on your knees. And also you can choose to keep a soft gaze, like in front of you, down to your feet or to your legs, or you can also choose to close the eyes. We are going to stay to breathing, just to settle, to feel our buttocks on the chair, to align head over heart, heart over pelvis. And we are going to breathe into our neck. And when we exhale, we feel our neck melt and the shoulder. And then we inhale. And each time we exhale, we feel our muscle melt. We start from the neck and shoulder, but then we bring this melting with heat of the relaxation to our arms and chest. One more breath, and then when we exhale, we melt our belly. Inhale again, and then we exhale and melt the hips. Melt the back of the back. And inhale again. And we melt our thighs, our knees. Inhale again. And when we exhale, we melt the lower part of the legs up toward the feet. Inhale again, and then from the top of the head until the feet, we exhale and we melt all the body. From the head, the face, the neck, the shoulder, relax the back, relax the chest, the belly, relax the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankle, and the feet. And you can start this maybe one more time. We inhale very big, and then we exhale, melting from the top of the head until the feet. Each breath that go outside, and then it goes from up to bottom, the relaxing. So exhale and melt the head, the face, the neck, the shoulder, the chest, the back, the belly, the hips, the legs, the feet. And we stay like this a little bit, just to observe how does it feels. And each time, each where we feel a resistance in the body, maybe we can breathe in it and out, melting it. If my hips are a little bit tight, I breathe in and then exhale, melting my hips. So everybody choose their place that want to melt, to relax. One more time we breathe in and then pick your spot and then breathe out, melt it. One last time. Breathe in and then melt all the body or the spot you prefer. Exhale. And when you feel like it, you can start maybe wiggling your toes and your fingers. Open slowly the eyes. Maybe move your shoulder. And come back here. And so, as most of you knows, what we do at the beginning of the class is we click on our skin, on our, how do you say, on our face on the Zoom, and we use it as a mirror, or if we are catching the replay, we go in front of a mirror, and then we take a pen, and or the pencil, or your favorite piece of writing, and then we open our journal to the next new page, and looking at ourselves, we do a self-portrait. You can choose, today is like quite free. You just look at yourself and you draw what you see. If you find it difficult, what you can do is just like using your eyes to guide your hand. It's like you hooking the sight and the movement of the hand, and you don't look so much on the paper. You just look at your face, and then when you look on the left, the hand goes on the left, and when you look up, the hand goes up, and so on. We don't care about the result. So you can start drawing, and I'm going to. Okay. So let's go. And we don't care about the result in the graphic journal, as some of you may already heard this so many times. But for the new people, I can see here is like the graphic journal is like our own space. So the result doesn't matter in the moment. And if you do a good drawing or a bad drawing, as Linda Berry would say, it doesn't change the fact that to carry on in your journaling practice, you have to turn the page, go to a new one. So even if you did a masterpiece or if you did something it's very like a shit, it's the same result because you have to go through the pages and go to a new one. And this lift the pressure. So we use this exercise of self-portrait just to warm up and to look at something that we know and just do this warm up for the hand. And while you draw, we are going to quickly wrap up, but maybe still one little minute. And while you draw, if you have some words that comes to your mind, or if you want to set an intention for today's class, maybe you can set the intention of not judging the what you draw today, or what you write today, or maybe something else. Just you can write it as a title or on the side as a memo. And then we are going to wrap it up. Everybody's close to the end of the self-portrait, or do you need more minute? Maybe you can do like this if you need one more minute, or if you are okay, you can do like this. Okay. First thing first, I'm very happy to see you because it's August and it's like the month in which people go to the holiday. And so I was afraid that I will be all alone with my no connection and the cats. But actually, it's very cool to see you. And the next exercise will be going to the next page, to the next clean new page that you have. You can turn the page, and we are going to do a list, to make a list, like a grocery shopping list. Is like we are going to stay in the very middle of the page, because then we will have to make something around. But for now, we are going to do this list in the very middle of the page. And what we are going to how do you say, to put on the paper will be probably it's the month of August, so I don't know if some of you are on holiday or not, or if you're working or not, but the fact that you come here in the live or in the replay, it's very cool because you are making this space for yourself, for self uh, discovery and self-help. But they are probably a lot of things that you need to do right now or not. But sometimes the mind is racing, and the more we make empty space around us, empty of activity, empty of sounds, empty of goal, and the more our mind race to find the purpose. And so we are going to do in the middle a little self check-in before starting. We are going to writing what do we feel we should be doing right now. I'm not sure if the grammar is right, but what we think we should be doing right now instead of being here. Maybe it's like making a call. Maybe it's like watching a season finale from a show, or maybe it's like washing the dishes, or I don't know. We are going to take this time, maybe Marzak, hello, because I don't have my telephone, so I will be needing a timer. Can you do it for me,
because I've
please?
proved in the past that I'm such a reliable timer. But yes,
No, but because
no.
I found a telephone in my mom's house, which a telephone, sorry, how do you call it? A watch. She has so many watch like on a shelf. I don't know why, but no, none of it's working. And this one, it goes like, you charge it, but it's very difficult to see the seconds. So
I've got
can
you.
you? Thank you. It will be like maybe every time like 2 minutes timer, not starting now, but so we are going to do this grocery shopping list, I call it. It's not like nice phrases, or it's just picking our brain, self-check-in and putting on the paper. Like when you are in your kitchen and say, okay, I need milk and I did this and that. But the self-check-in will be investigating what, answering this question, and it's what I should be doing right now instead of being here. Okay, so sorry, Justine, maybe you can put like 40 seconds because we have 3 different questions in the same middle of the page. So 40 seconds to answer to this question. What you should be doing right now instead of being to a graphic journaling class. What's the most? Let's go.
Okay, time is done.
Okay, thank you. So, always in the same center of the page, we want to gather all this self-check-in. And the second is like list all the things, feeling, people, or whatever that are taking you off this practice right now. So imagine we are here together and sit and we did the meditation, we have the journal and all is cool, but there is like actual I can be noise, can be people talking to you, or can be a feeling of fear or urgency, or can be things, I don't know, just 40 seconds
Yeah. Go.
for just self-check-in and put it all on paper. And like no judgment, it's very private, so you can write whatever, even if you're not sure it's true, but if it comes to your mind, write it down. If it passed through your head, write it down, grab it and put it on the paper. Everything that passed through your mind, you grab it and put it on the paper, like you are catching mosquitoes. Okay, and so one last thing, you can just input maybe 30-second timer, or maybe leave it 40, it's okay. And one last thing, so is that what is this thing that right now in this moment is more important than this practice that you are doing? If there is still maybe one more thing that you missed, this is the chance to write it down. Can be real, can be invented, can be something that maybe you don't allow yourself feeling, like I don't know, maybe instead of being here I should be preparing the dinner, or even things that are maybe there is no one with a pistol say to you, make the dinner, but maybe something you feel. This is the moment you write it down. One last thing. Timer.
The timer is gone.
Okay, time is up.
Behind me.
Thank you. So now what we are going to do is we are going to take 1 minute to pick up your favorite colors, pens, if you have like nice colors or glitter, or I don't know, whatever it's favorite to you. Maybe also it's a nice pencil with it write very well, or but what I want you to do in the way you prefer is we are draw around this list we made. We are going to circle, we are going to make a fence around this list we have made, which is more like a bubble that we wrap around than a frame that we put around, because we want to make a dome around this to make sure that those things we feel don't fly away. Those things important that we need to remember to do is the dishes or the call, or I don't know. We make sure that we don't go away. They stay there. So we put something around so they don't go away. But in the meantime, we frozen. We froze them there because for the last time, the continuous of the class, we don't want to go there. We just put them there. We wrap it very good in a nice color, with like a magic circle around. And so then we don't have to talk and think about it for the rest of the class. Okay, so a little timer. Thank you, Justine. And let's make, use the same seconds, like 40 seconds or.
Okay, go.
Okay. So now, next page, we are going to divide the page in four. Like we are going to do one vertical line in the middle and one horizontal line in the middle of the page. It's like a big cross we draw. And it's just we are going to do some exercise to just drawing. We are going to do 4 different draw in 30 seconds each drawing. So it will only took 2 minutes. And what we are going to do is like, you can choose to hook your sight and your hand to what you see, as we did, some of you maybe did in the beginning with the self-portrait, or you can just draw. It's like do whatever feels good. The technique of using the sight to guide our hand without looking at the paper is just a way of taking the pressure off of doing the good drawing. Because if you don't look at the paper, for sure your drawing you will not try to make sense of your drawing. You just look what you see and make the hand follow. Is just a way of passing the limitation of our mind that say to ourselves, you can't draw, or these things too difficult to draw. And we are going to draw. So the first drawing, we are going just to look at our feet. I don't know if you are sitting on the floor, or if you have the feet like this. Maybe you look at your legs, or you look at your feet. It's just an exercise. So 30 seconds to draw our feet. And you can start from the up section on the left of your 4 section page. Okay. Okay, let's go. 30 seconds. And I want you to notice every sensation, every discomfort, every time you say to yourself, it's too difficult, I can draw, or if there is frustration, it's all is good. We can feel everything, because this is the place we can do this. We are mostly here to feel all the feeling, because it's a safe space. We are not here to make a masterpiece. Just try to draw what you see.
Stop.
And okay, time is up. So now you're going to take the other hand from which you draw, and you put it on the side of where you were drawing. So, and you don't move it. You just look at the hand, and in the next section of the page, the upper on the right, you have 30 seconds to draw the hand. Good, bad, we don't care. It's just like a place. We want to put ourselves in place of discomfort. It's the best thing to do. So put your hand on the side of you and draw what you see, not what you know.
Okay, stop.
Okay. So now we are going to move to the down section of the page on the left side, and we are going to take 30 seconds to draw the screen we have in front of us. So I assume everybody has a screen, even the people who are taking the replay, and draw your telephone, draw your computer, and all the windows and face you see in it. So, or your fellow graphic journaler, let's draw some cool faces. Maybe you can write the name if you see them.
Stop.
Okay, time's up. Maybe you need more. Do you need more time? Okay, maybe 30 seconds again. Please, assistant, Justine. Yes, you, assistant contre ton gré. I need to buy myself a watch.
Stop.
Stop. And now you are going to put a 40 seconds timer, and we are going to put, how do you say, pick our, so we are going to draw in the lower section on the right, and we are going to put our pen in the center of the section, and we are going to take 40 seconds to draw a spiral. And when the telephone, the time's up, you should be still doing the spiral. So we are going to manage the time. We are going to take the time and going very slowly, because we don't want to finish doing this in the section before it sounds, it rings. Okay? Very boring, very slowly. Okay, let's go. And we don't want the line to touch. Do the spiral and keep the lines some way parallel. And breathe in into the discomfort. Try to keep the sight inside of the spiral, but don't put yourself to sleep. Okay, time's up. So, why all this? Because the class of today, I want to call it Unproductive August. The thing is, like, it's summer, and we often apply productivity to our to all the things we do, even to side hustle, even to hobbies. We need to be productive to be valid, and it puts a lot of pressure on our mind, because all going very fast. Even if we have Instagram, we must post every day, because the algorithm will choose not to show our post if you don't post every day, or we need to be on the top. It depends by the work we do. We have like Google advice, or everything is about the productivity, and it's can be exhausting, even if because we are like, especially because we are out of like 3 years of the pandemic, and it's not the best uh, time for like economics and wars and all the things, and so it's like we are always on the run. So what I would like you to propose, it's something we never did. Like we are going to cultivate no productivity for the last 15 days, because it's the last of the final days of August, because tomorrow is 15. No, um, Tuesday is 15, so it's like almost at the half of the month. So we are going to try to not to push the brake, not to stop ourselves, but just like when you are on the bike and the bike is on a, it's going on their own, because maybe you have the momentum from downhill, or I don't know. And so we just notice, if we stop pedaling, if we stop pushing on the how do you call it in English, like on the go pedal in the car, just we are going to take 2 weeks of just let me myself being passive, and we are going to notice how does it feels. For example, if you're I don't know, if you always draw because it's your job, or things you do for your job, maybe if you like to draw, but you can choose to do something this goes on the opposite direction on from what you would like to do. um, for example, if you are in your artistic practice, you always struggle, or put the effort, not struggle, but you put the effort to find your way, to find your style, to make things like, okay, maybe I draw to make prints, or for these 2 weeks, just choose to go to the opposite direction. So I talk about our practice because we are all artists here, because we choose to have a graphic journaling practice. And so maybe if in your graphic journaling practice you always uh, naturally goes on self-portrait, maybe you decide that for 2 weeks you only draw leaves or flower or something that is opposite to you, or maybe is on the other side. Does it make sense? Okay. So for example, you can decide, okay, maybe I don't post for 2 weeks on Instagram, or maybe I never post on Instagram because it's uncomfortable. Maybe I decide that can be another things that I decide to relent, to slow. Sorry, to slow. Um, so what we are going to do next, it's before going into all this, let's talk for starting on what are the things that are feel uncomfortable in our practice, or can be maybe sport practice or your hobby. But since we are all artists, but you are not obliged to think about your art practice. Go where you feel you need to address. There is something to address. But I would like this list of things that feels uncomfortable. Um, for example, um, it can be for me feels very uncomfortable not posting for an Instagram story when I'm in a very good place. I like to take picture and I like to post it on Instagram to so everybody can see it. or for me can also be, for me it's very uncomfortable doing drawings with no human in it. I like so much drawing face and bodies and mermaids or things like this. So when I never go naturally towards drawing landscape or nature or leaves or trees, I don't know. So let's make a list. We are going to take 45 seconds. Time manager. We are going to we are going to put a 45 seconds list timer in which you are going to make a list of things that feels uncomfortable for you in doing in your practice. Okay. If it's everybody, it feels like working around the art practice. You can raise your hand, or if you want to take the time to think of if you have a sport practice, if you have a meditation practice, or I don't know, you can also go there. But if you think about no, okay, let's do it, and then we will see what comes up.
Stop.
Stop. Maybe it's not enough, so maybe you can put another round of timer. Let's go into the discomfort, things that you often avoid doing. Maybe it's admin, or maybe is I don't know. Let's all the things that are uncomfortable in your art practice. Okay, so some of you want to share, or go. What is the most uncomfortable thing that you try to run away from in your art practice? Somebody want to share?
Yes. For me, it's playing or drawing in front of other people. For example, when I go outside, I take my graphic journaling and there is other people watching me while I'm drawing. I feel very uncomfortable with that. It's the same because I'm starting playing guitar. And when I play and there is other people, I'm like shaking and not able to play anymore.
It's scary. Okay, thank you for sharing, Steffi. Somebody else want to share the most uncomfortable things in their practice?
Yes, for me, it's doing tiny drawings. Okay, it's okay for me to do long drawing and very work, but no simple tiny sketch efficient.
Okay, so it's like more like fast, tiny drawing means like things that you don't take too much to finish. It's like
Yes, a simple line.
Simple lines.
Teeny simple line and efficient to communicate.
Okay, like more, okay, efficient. So when you say like, yes, very simple, okay, I don't know how to say it in English, but something that is less worked on with composition and with, okay, more spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
Yes. Somebody else want to share?
For me, maybe it's practicing perspective and animal anatomy and maybe hands and feet, and in general showing my drawings, like posting it. I never post anything that I do, so I think it's like Steffi, a bit like her. I don't feel valid, so
yes, the fear and okay, and also like maybe and for example, when you say perspective, is it more like a technical skill or is it more like okay? Okay.
Because I feel I'm not good enough to, that's
yes, it's like it's like technical, but in the meantime, it's like perspective is this thing in drawing, which is like mathematics, or which is like playing the classical music to the piano. I don't know. There is no way of doing it own style when you decide to do. It's like is that thing that is like this, the composition of the space. You, of course, we can always decide to make our own perspective, but the fear is not when we do our own perspective, but the fear is when we try to do the perspective and then we fear the judgment because it's these things that is like with a majuscule P, the perspective, or so it's always something. Maybe we can put it. Is it the skill, of course, but maybe we can put it together with the fear of of showing the judgment from people. Can be okay. Thanks. Anybody else want to share it?
Yeah, me. I feel quite guilty when I take time to play with my practice instead of making drawings that are aimed towards my tattooing and towards public and towards so anytime I'm doing something that's not straight on a tattoo design and I'm just taking time to play and practice other mediums and techniques, I feel guilty that I'm not being productive and business geared.
Making it like I do say making it monetize those drawings to make them tattoos. I can relate. Okay, and maybe Barbara and Margot, do you feel like sharing it too with us if you want to?
No, me lately I feel uncomfortable to stay on table and drawing. No, to stay probably in a closed room.
Okay. So is it something more related to a discomfort in the art practice because it's some where you feel that you don't want to go there because it's like triggering too much things, or is it more related to like physical or summer, or maybe you need to move?
Yeah, I think it's this. Maybe it's I would like stay all the time in the street. But when I'm in the street, I'm in or with other people. So as they say, they start to look at you. What are you drawing? So I I start to be, when I say, just, I don't feel to go into the drawing, no? I start to drawing, but then I stop because maybe people start to talk to me and I don't feel concentrate. I don't know.
Okay, write it down. Thank you for sharing. And Margot, do you feel like sharing it?
Yeah, for me, it's more staying focused on what I was doing, and yeah, just keeping my goal. Yeah.
Okay, in which way, for example, which is the goal that you can't focus on?
If I decide to create something, I'll stop. Yeah, it's similar to plastic bambina. It's when something is gonna happen, or people are gonna start to talk to you, and you just stop, and then you're like, oh, I have to go back on what I was doing. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I can see. So it's like focus, the act of creating, staying focused, not like some to a long term, like I can keep focus on this goal, or it's more like I want to do something, but the equilibre, what do you say in English? It's fragile because when people come from the outside, it's difficult to keep it. Okay, so we are going to take 30 seconds in which every one of you is going to write the answer you did, or maybe you want to expand a little bit, but on the paper. If you didn't already, when we did this uncomfortable list, write it down one more time to make it like, frame it like we can write it down, this is the discomfort, and then we can highlight it and keep it. Okay, let's do it, or let's put a 30-second timer, or maybe not, or just everybody, right? Okay.
Stop.
Okay. So what I was thinking is was giving ourselves homework for the next 2 weeks, for the month of August. What can we do is like we try to safely go into this place of discomfort, which is like a very first, it's like an experiment, because I don't know how could it feel. The thing is like, since we are doing the graphic journal class, we never did this. We never did an assignment outside of the class. So I don't know if it will be like putting yourself on a spot of having to do something outside of the time of the class. It will be difficult or not, if it will be like giving you, I can't do this anymore, but no pressure. I just thinking about this because it's like it's the month of August, so maybe we can do it. And then maybe we can see each other. Everybody's in the Facebook group, so maybe we can share it in the Facebook group, like in a very informal way. Just everybody maybe can pop up and say, okay, I tried to do this 2 weeks. And so what we can do before we go on to our class is like, I had Steffi, but also like Plastic Bambina, Barbara, and I don't know if it's also Ari, that's as I have, so maybe I can go. Steffi said it's difficult to draw in front of people, like the fear of judgment of having this that is going in front of people. For Remus, it was trying to make it more simple. The drawing make them more spontaneous. So it's not something about the judgment from outside. People looking say, I can see you drawing, you can't draw, but maybe, I don't know if I'm wrong, maybe it's something I'm projecting, because sometimes I feel the same. It's more a judgment you can put on yourself, because if you go in a more spontaneous way, maybe it's too easy to be good, or maybe it's like you have to prove yourself to go a little bit more into composition before just saying, this is a spontaneous drawing and it's enough. But maybe it's a matter of judgment, I don't know. But in some way, it's a practice of doing this. And then for Ari was like the perspective, but having the wanting to showing more, and then we had like the more for Margot was also staying focused without thinking about the outside. And then we have Barbara, who had more difficulty in staying still inside, but this is something maybe more related to the body. But when we dig into it, going into the street to draw, it's difficult because people can see us. And then for Justine was more a matter of doing things without capitalizing on those drawings, but just experimenting. If it's okay for you, maybe you can give yourself, you have 2 weeks, maybe every other day, one day yes and one day no. You can give yourself like, can be 10 minutes, can be 1 hour, you put a timer and you go do what you say was difficult to do. Maybe, for example, for Ari, I'm not saying you must post your drawing on Instagram, but maybe you can start slow. Maybe you can start filming, even for the other, like Steffi and Barbara, even maybe Margot, I don't know. Maybe you can start filming yourself while drawing. So there is no other place, other people looking, but just you put this into discomfort, but in a way that is safe. And for Remus and Justine, can be go into the discomfort just in a short period. Like you say, I put myself a timer of 1 hour every other day. And in this, all the drawing I do in this moment, for example, for Justine, is I'm not allowed of using them for tattoo design. Maybe I do the drawing and then I throw them away or something like this, just to experiment, and then you burn them in the garden or something, like you make a ritual, I don't know. And for Remus can be the same. Maybe you can try, for example, if you want to practice more this, so it's like lifting the control. Maybe you can change the hand from which you draw, or maybe you can don't use the pen you like to use or the paper you like to use. You use something that is more rough or less fancy. I don't know, like a big pen with a big tip, so you can't go into the. Anyway, you can everybody here, I guess, has the resource to try and just to push it, and maybe we can check every time. You can send a message on the Facebook group or on as a DM just for these 2 weeks and see how it goes. Give me feedback. It can be fun. So let's go up because we will be a little bit late because we still have some exercise to do. So let's dig in the discomfort, and also let's dig in the stillness, in the fact that we can take the risk of doing what is uncomfortable because it's just drawing, it's just feelings. So maybe we can try to suicide ourselves in some way, suicide our ego into this. What I write, what would be also fun, in some way that it's a drawing exercise that doesn't have a lot of purpose. It's like drawing our dreams. It's a nice exercise. Dreams of the night or dreams of the future. Can be projection. For dreams of the night, maybe we can add this to the homework list if you want. You can have a journal drawing your dreams, can be fun. But since we are in class, let's talk about all the dreams about the future. Because we can also use this moment to write down a grocery store list of what we want to accomplish for the future of this year. So I'm not talking about the month of August, because August will be unproductive. We are just doing things that doesn't go nowhere, are uncomfortable, things we don't monetize, things that are like when we draw spontaneously, maybe are out of our style. But let's do a 30-second list of things that maybe we want to project for from September to December. Okay, what will be? So Justine, maybe you can put a 40 seconds timer, and we can, as we did before with the present things we should be doing, let's do a list of things that we will be doing once this unproductive August will be over. Okay, so let's take these 40 seconds and dream big about la rentrée, dream big about the back to school time from September. Let's go. Can be artistic or life-wise.
The timer rang. Okay, now before we do a little circle of to freeze in time, to keep it like we did before. We are going to freeze it with some globe around to keep those goals until we will open it in September. But just very fast, as we have the habit of doing in class, sometimes we do a list, and then for each item of the list, we draw a little arrow, and for each item of the list, I want you to write on the side, how do you want to feel? this goal that you put for la rentrée from September and on, what's the feeling hidden behind this goal? So you can put, Justine, maybe 1 minute timer, because digging into the feeling maybe is longer, but so if you have, I don't know, I'm just picking one which is not very personal. It's like maybe I want to exercise more, for example, from September, because now I'm in Italy, don't exercise and drinking too much of spritz. But from September, I want to exercise every day. But what's the feeling behind, hidden behind this? How, if you don't know how to write it, is how do I want to feel from each item you put in the list? On the side, you put an arrow and the answer of the question. You write the answer of the question, how do I want to feel? For example, if I write, I want to exercise every day. Okay, but how do I want to feel? Maybe it can be, I want to feel strong. I want to feel, I don't know, for me it can be strong, or it can be a feeling, but it can also be like more inner.
Stop.
Okay, if you did this, before we continue, you take another color and you globe around this, because this is not matter of summer, this is a matter of from September on. Just put them, you know, like when you wrap something in plastic and you put it in the fridge to keep it from the days that will come. In the freezer, let's freeze those things. But what we can do, okay, if you already wrapped your goals to put it in the freezer of the journal, but very fast, I would like to answer the question in your journal, 1 minute timer. In which area of your life you can start to cultivate those feelings that you just write on the side? In which area of your life you can start to cultivate those feelings, starting right now? And I want you to make a list, choosing the lowest effort case. Okay, so we are not about production, we are not about the effort, it's the month of August. It's like maybe in this what do I want to feel you just wrote, maybe some of them you can pick them, cherry pick them and say, maybe I can have this feeling from starting right now without having to do this September things I put in the freezer. Maybe for me, maybe it can be, maybe I can start feeling stronger now because I can walk every day to my breakfast place, or I don't know, can be. There is no right answer. It's just maybe it can be helpful to see that some things that we project far, maybe we are able to have them right now with not a lot of effort. And if it's not, it's okay. Because we want to stay still and passive and non productive. until the end of August, and we want to use this no productive time to go dig what's uncomfortable and use it. It's like 2 weeks. Okay, time is up. So, we still have, okay, 2 page, but it's very, so who is going on holiday this end of August, or who is working? Which one is working, or maybe both? Both? Okay. Working. The thing is, I know the feel of working in August, and we can cultivate these 2 weeks of not being productive, even if we are working, because it's not about what we do, but it's about the time we can put aside, even short period, just to try to experience this discomfort of not going in the comfortable direction, just going on the uncomfortable, which will be maybe make us less productive, or maybe drawing in a slower way or in less comfortable way. So, can you hear the music? No? Okay, I have on the side, there is very loud music, like Renato Zero, from the one who knows it, like very loud. I don't know what is this. Anyway, what we are going to do is, like, we are going to put a 2-minute timer, and in these 2 minutes, we are going to get bored. We are going to observe and stay 2 minutes, no action, no telephone, not taking the notes, no moving, no talking, no writing. Only we are going to stay still and observe. Don't move until the moment the time will be up, and it will be ding ding ding, will ring, and then when it will stop, we are going to write down some things that I will tell you to write down. So 2-minute timer. So no reading. Okay, without activating yourself too much, you are going to draw a very simple body shape, and we are going to draw in what are the places that felt more restless while you were waiting these 2 minutes, in which maybe you can take different color, and maybe you can pick one color and write restless in the part of the body that felt like it. Okay, and then another question will be, did you add some ideas that comes to your mind while you were in the stillness of waiting the end of the timer? If you had, pick another color and write them around your head. Maybe you felt like you wanted to write down something you remember. Can be ideas or can be task, can be I want to pick up the telephone, or what time is it, or write down if you can remember if they came and go, but if they stayed as an urgency. Maybe you can pick another color, and in some other part of the body, or outside or inside, you can write down all the things you actively wanted to do instead, if you didn't already. Maybe you can write down, I wanted to stand up, or go to the toilet, or talk a little. And did you felt, maybe you can pick another color and put on the draw on the body or you draw some, if you felt some discomfort, some anxious feeling, maybe some fear. If you felt the discomfort, you can just write discomfort, but if you can name it a little bit more precisely, maybe you can write down, yes, I felt fear, and if you want to, if you feel too, was it difficult to stay inactive? Was it, or passive, or so you can write it down. If it was difficult, maybe we can put a 1 minute timer and try to write a little list of what could have happened, what can happen if you stay inactive, if you stay passive, what can happen. Okay, so if I can see everybody, maybe. So are you feel like can be fun to try to experiment those things that you wouldn't instinctively do for the next 2 weeks in your practice? And do you have like ideas, or you want to share, like, for example, as we were saying, if it's difficult to see other people looking at you, maybe you can try to film yourself, and maybe 1 or 2 times you can try to film yourself while you draw, and then you can watch it. You can try to watch what you filmed. Like, you can put yourself a timer or like half an hour of drawing, so you don't have to then watch like 2 hours. But maybe you can try half an hour, which is not very engaging. You try to film yourself half an hour, and then you look at this video, trying to see with a detached eye, like if it was like my best friend that I was looking, or if it was somebody seated on the side of the table in the cafe doing this, what would be the feelings that I will what maybe there are judgment, because if you look at you drawing thinking it's you, the judgment will fly, of course. But if you try to, you film yourself, and then you pour a cup of tea, and then you open your journal and you watch it, and you write it, what feelings arise, write it down, and maybe you can try to write down what you feel. But if you can, also try watching it, don't thinking about it's you. Try to put yourself into the skin of somebody that watch this person drawing, and write down how it feels. And then once you did this, maybe you can push it if you feel it, and go to a coffee place and do 1 hour drawing or not. It's okay. There is no good or bad way. And then we can maybe exchange around this. And for example, we say that maybe Justine, you can try to draw things you put a timer, you draw things that then you throw away, like things that you can't apply. Just you can try maybe once, and then we say that Remus, maybe you can change you can maybe change one parameter that make your applying more difficult, that oblige you to be more, how did we say, more spontaneous. Maybe you put a timer and you can just draw while standing on one foot, or maybe you can just draw on the opposite hand, or can be so this kind of exercise. Put yourself in an uncomfortable position, and then you draw and see how does it feel. And once you did, for you also, Justine, once you did, then you put a timer and you write it on your journal, how does it feel. There is no right away, just write it down, because maybe you don't remember how does it feel. And for Margot, which was maybe, and also for Barbara, maybe what time was the same, the judgment of people around, but it can be also the focus for Margot. This can be very challenging to keep the focus, because it depends who are the people around that keep you out of the focus. Because if you are maybe traveling to see your family just for 1 week, and then you want to keep the focus, it will be very difficult to try to keep it. and it will be maybe very frustrating. Sometimes we have to pick our battles, because sometimes I can get very frustrated if I try to stay into my drawing and there are people around that want to do things and change plans. And sometimes I realize it's not a matter of focus. Sometimes it's a matter of picking our battles. Maybe the frustration it depends by the context, but maybe you can, if it's possible, and you want to try it, maybe try, yes, to go draw when you have an aperitif with friends. Maybe you can try do this, or maybe you can, if you have a friend that draws too, maybe you can do a drawing date. You pick one friend and you see together, and then you talk and draw in the same times and try if you can stay into your focus. And then for the perspective for Ari, I guess that the perspective, since if it's about the judging, the filming yourself can be cool. If it's about the technical, maybe it's something that you can just try to apply, but maybe you can try to do some, how do you say, some live drawing and try to look, or maybe you can take a picture and you can take picture of places, and if you want to, you can draw it once like this, and then you draw it again, but you put the picture upside down. And this is a very nice exercise. You put the picture upside down and you copying the picture while it's upside down, and you will see that your brain will not try to make sense of the drawing, because when it's upside down, it's like some kind of abstract. So you try to copy it, and then when you put it on the other, you flip it back, you will see that actually you say, this is very good. It's a nice exercise. I don't remember if, but this is like the first time we tried this, to have like homework. I don't think it's something that we will do every time, because it's already difficult to maybe have 1 hour and a half each month to the graphic journaling practice. But I guess that since it's August, we can try this. Before we say goodbye, I would like to do another self-portrait exercise, in which we just look at our face and we try to be the less active, the more passive expression we can. Just a reminder. Of course, we will be passive August. No, how did I say at the beginning? Unproductive August, only in your artistic practice. If you are going to work, please don't get fired and you go, sorry, it's unproductive August, I can't work, because then you get fired and you will be obliged to come and live in La Rochelle. I'm joking. So we are going to finish with a self-portrait. For those of you who don't, it's the first time coming to class, what we often do at the end of the class, we do some drawing or some exercise that bring us to a drawing that we can use as a wallpaper, as a lock screen of the telephone. Because sometimes we want to, it's like maybe we had a class about a fear or about a goal or about an emotion, I don't know. And we do something that we can put on the lock screen of the telephone, so that for the whole month, each time we pick up the telephone, we remember the class, and this goes into our brain. But now we we want to remember to stay in unproductive states, or so. What we are going to do is like, we are going to take a self-portrait, so we can start right now in a brand new page. And while we draw ourselves, the self-portrait is always a very good exercise and a very good way to, it's like a spell. We look at ourselves and we draw ourselves while we think about what we want to feel. And so we can pick up, so when I was preparing the class, I write down that we can write some phrase like all is good as it is, or don't try to change things. But the thing is that in my mind, this unproductive August, when I was preparing the class, it was more similar to what Justine felt. It was like, for me, going into discomfort is leave things as they are. Don't try to put something that I will put it on as a print or as a tattoo. But as we exchange at the beginning of the class, we realize that some of you may have different goal for the month of the August as a wallpaper. So you're going to draw your self-portrait, but then you can maybe write some message that can pop up to your brain, and it can be, I'm safe, for example, I'm free from, nobody can judge me, or only dog can judge me, as we can say. Or you can put some reminder that maybe you will need. It can be, I'm safe, or it can be, I am enough. For example, for Remus can be, I am enough, or my art is enough. Since you will be working on spontaneous drawing, or it can be let's play for Justine, or Steffi and Ari and Barbara and Margot, or Barbara can be, yes, nobody can judge me, or I rock, or I don't know. And for Margot can be about, if you go further the judgment, but about this focus, it's like yes, can be I'm safe, or maybe you can, while you will be doing your self-portrait, you can imagine those uncomfortable situation we think about, and what if you think about those situations, you already felt this, maybe past situation, from knowing what you know now, knowing what you are going to work now, what would you like to say to you in the past? So maybe you can give yourself a piece of advice, the advice you need to hear. I'm sure that you know better than me what you need. So you can make this self-portrait for your lock screen telephone with the piece of advice you need to hear. And we are going to put a timer, maybe 2 minutes before we say goodbye. Let's take this time. What is the advice you want to hear? And of course, since you are drawing the self-portrait, the advice, maybe you can choose also to write it down as in the first person. You say this in English, I'm not sure. Is like, if, for example, if this advice, that comes from you, that you are saying to yourself in the past, is like, for example, you are safe, you can also write it as I am safe. So every time you read it, it's like, I am safe. And the more you read it, and the more you will remember it. Okay, time's up. Maybe you will need some more time to wrap up the last drawing. And while you wrap up, no pressure. The thing is, of course, you can always like finish it and put some, how do you say, some details if you want, even after we say goodbye. But it's nice to take this time to wrap up, also to don't just abruptly maybe finish the class. So it's a way of wind down. I was happy to see you, and so there are people here, new faces, which is cool. So for those who are on Patreon, that are subscriber to the Graphic Journal Club, so every month we gather, but I also opened the class for people like today, by a donation, just so people can drop in once and try and see how it feels like, because maybe for some people it's not their fit, or some other yes, it's just you can try it, or maybe I think it's cool, and it's also fun to see each other in the live. And it was very cool to read all the pages on the group, on the Facebook group. I know that maybe Facebook group is something it's a boomer thing, I guess. It's all the people thing, the Facebook group. But I had this group since the first time I did a graphic journal class, 2015. And so there are still people that aren't active anymore on the group, but it's fun because there are still pictures of those classes, even if the graphic journal class at the time was very not the same. It was more about narration and drawing, and less about fears and affirmation and discomfort and all these funny things that we do in those class. So if you finish the drawing, and before we say goodbye, I would like to ask if some of you have a question, or there is something that maybe before we say goodbye, it feels to be asked or said, or all is good. And okay, so I guess that we can say goodbye. I thank you so much to come to the live class. It was very fun to see you. Let's keep in touch on the Facebook group, or you can send me messages on Instagram or Patreon for the ones who are on Patreon. And for those who are catching the replay, the same, keep me posted. And for those who came by the donation, let me know how it went, and let's stay in touch.
Grazie, ciao.
Grazie. Ciao.
Grazie. Ciao ciao.
Bye bye. Ciao ciao.